Hello, my name is Johnny. Welcome to another awesome collection pop culture video. Today we're going to look at a Life magazine, specifically the article on James Bond Thunderball with Sean Connery. And then it's got some other neat ads and things like Gemini space missions and so forth in this magazine. If you'd like, please subscribe, hit that notification bell, like, reply, and share. January 6, 1966. You see it's quite a big magazine for its time. There's Sean Connery looking rather muy macho there in his black torn scuba suit. It's Agent 007. James Bond and Thunderball, wildest 007 movie yet. That came out in December of 65, so this was just a few weeks after it was out. Goldfinger was 64, and then Dr. No was 62, and 63 was Russia with Love. Then there'd be until 1967, where the next one would come out. Let's take a look here. We'll get to the article in a second. I just want to show the table of contents first. There's cool full-page ads. Oreo, different products. There's Tang. There's some car ads. We'll look at the other stuff after we look at the James Bond, so we'll get to that first. And James Bond's way at the end here, page 79. See some of the other things there. They got a movie review. We'll see if we can find that, since that's early, and then get to the other. And then something about the Gemini space. Vietnam, Johnson, Lebanon, New York, Truman Capote, so forth. Let's see. So let's see if we can find. So look at that. That's cool. Encyclopedia. Why do they have color page of the monsters on there? So they're using them to advertise. There, see the monsters every CBS on every night. So that's cool, and it's in color since that was a black and white show. So what do we got here? 007, a grinning cousin are out in the cold. The spy who came in out from the cold, Richard Burton, was out at the same time here. We're not going to spend much time in this. I'll just briefly scan down it. Talking about the formula of James Bond. There's Spectre. What the A-bombs they're trying to get. I think this was one of the longest, or not the longest at the time, for a James Bond. And of course they were all based on books by Ian Fleming until they ran out of those. And until to this day, they're still putting out some version of James Bond in the theater. So that was the end of that review. I remember that guy's name, Richard Schickel. Very cool. Pillsbury brownie, fudge brownies, and nutty brownies. Well, let's get to the James Bonds, and then we'll look around and see what else is in the magazine. Fortunately, the color don't have color pictures in here for the article. It's black and white. Ever have a sea urchin spine in your foot? First aid for Domino, played by Claudine Alger, mistress of the arch-villain Largo. Literally Bond pursues her to help foil Spectre Man. Largo's plot to plant a stolen atomic bomb off Miami Beach. There's Harry Salzman was around back then. Fourth movie based on the late Ian Fleming's Derringer Cloak and A-Bomb's favorite, the Bahamas. Expected to make $90 million for its distributors alone. And surely replaced Gone with the Wind as the biggest ticket seller in film history. Fast forward, I'm doing this in summer of 2023, and What are the Avatar and those last couple Avengers movies made about $2 billion, but then there's inflation and so forth, so it's still a lot. And let's see. So we got an action shot here. Wildest caper yet. More extravagant. Bigger the box office. Budget was $6.8 million. Today they spend over $200 million or something on the big movies. So we got all the spearmen. There's Largo. Eye-patched heavy. Another underwater shot. The cool undersea vehicles that they had. Larger ones and smaller ones. Here we go there. Bond. Molly Peters playing health clinic therapist. Treats his back injuries. Largo and henchmen set out the A-bomb. And we've got here, nicely recovered from sea urchin sting. Domino shows no hesitancy in getting wet again. Bond's new leading lady won the Miss France title in 1959. A daring swimsuit for the time. Very nice. And that was it for the cover article. There's a nice Pepsi ad. Let's see what was on the back. Of course, Territon, they rather fight than switch. That was the big logo for that. General Electric. If I skip a few pages, that's all right, because it's hard to grab them. Maybe go like this with it. The article about Truman Capote, one of his stories. What the Clutter saw. Shock in the wake of evil. I think Robert Blake Beretta was in that movie, in Cold Blood. Pan Am building. Olds 88, they always had big car ads. Dodge Charger, well, look at how nice that looks. Look at the lines on it in silver with red. Yeah, that was cool. Look at a big 2-page ad. New leader, the Dodge Rebellion. Everybody always had a slogan and a logo and they change. Look at that. I don't know if they had the last, and they call that like the fastback or something. Look at how nice that looks. Probably make that as a die-cast collectible. Fly the friendly skies. All the TVs. These are quite the time capsules. I also collect TV guides, a ton of those. Different rock and roll magazines. That's still around. Campbell's Tomato Soup. Always had that with a grilled cheese, usually if it was colder weather. And a little bit about the Gemini space program. They got a couple of color pictures here. So there was Life magazine, which is this, and then there was Look magazine. That was another big one. That's loose. Coming loose. Of course, G.I. Joe had the big space capsule out at this time, and then they'd be coming out with the Matt Mason toy line in '67. Done a ton of things for that. So these are really neat. And of course, I think Aurora made the capsules. It was Mercury, Gemini, and then Apollo. So that was a big thing following the space race. And of course, you've got the ever-growing thought that did we get to the moon or didn't we? Most people believe we did. Other people say no, it didn't. But that's not this video's about. Ford, look at them putting that. Oh yeah, G.I. Joe always did a nice silver, and they included that type of thing with them for their astronaut. Oatmeal. I have another section where I cut out a whole bunch of ads for magazines I didn't want to save whole with neat ads. People sell the ads, believe it or not, because they're neat. Some of them you could frame if there's something particularly you like. Like this is a topic. I have old beverages. I have some old 7-Up from the 60s in the original bottle and so forth. Very nice ad. If you had a ton of room, you could do the ads framed and then the product and so forth, and then the original cardboard containers and all kinds of things you can collect. All right, so that was a look through a Life magazine, the beginning of 1966. Sean Connery, James Bond, and Thunderball. Wildest 007 yet. Till next time, more awesome collection, pop culture addiction, 1960s. Thanks for watching, everyone.